You know how people say it's the thought that counts? Yeah, well, sometimes the thought stings more than the thing itself. I remember walking into my parents' house that night, confused as hell, because everything was dark and weirdly quiet. It was my birthday, nothing big, just my 29th and they'd told me to come by for dinner. Said they were grilling, my aunt and uncle might swing by, just a low-key family thing. So I parked, came up the front steps, and opened the door expecting the smell of barbecue or something. Instead, lights off. Silence. I barely had time to say, hello? Before the lights flipped on and 30 people jumped out yelling, surprise! And for like 3 seconds it felt kind of amazing. I hadn't had a surprise party since I was a kid. Everyone was there, me cousins, my coworkers, even my best friend from high school. The house was decorated with streamers and balloons, and there was this massive banner that said, Happy Birthday. I actually laughed, like a real surprised, grateful kind of laugh. Someone handed me a drink, people were clapping, hugging me, saying stuff like, we got you good, and you really had no idea? And I didn't. Not a clue. I looked over at my parents, and they were both beaming mom with that overly proud smile, dad doing his half-smile, half-nod thing. I started to relax, thinking maybe they finally did something just for me, which sounds stupid when I say it out loud, but if you knew my family, you'd get it. See, I'm the oldest, and the quiet one. The one who always had to set the example, be patient, help out, go along with whatever was best for the group. And my younger sister, Haley, she's the star. Always has been. Dance trophies, prom queen, theater scholarships, everything she touched turned into a standing ovation. I was proud of her, I really was. But growing up, it felt like I was just the background to her spotlight. So yeah, to have a party thrown just for me, it meant something. Even if it was silly, even if I didn't need it, it still meant something. For the first hour, it actually felt great. People were eating, laughing, the grill was fired up out back, there were drinks flowing. My mom even made that lasagna I used to love when I was a kid. I started to think, wow, maybe I was wrong. Maybe they do see me. And then the shift happened. You know how you can feel it? Like the energy in the room changes and you don't know why, but your gut knows before your brain catches up? That's what happened around cake time. Everyone was told to come inside, gather around the table. My mom disappeared into the kitchen, came back with this enormous cake. And I mean like wedding cake big. It was white, with gold trim and roses. And it said, to new beginnings. I blinked. This is for my birthday? I laughed, thinking it was some weird joke. My dad stepped up, raised his glass, and said, if we can have your attention for a second? I smiled. Figured he was going to make some kind of birthday toast. Something short and awkward. He never liked public speaking. But instead he said, tonight, we're not just celebrating another year of life for our amazing son. Then he looked over at Haley, who had somehow changed into a fancier dress when I wasn't paying attention. We're also thrilled to announce that Haley is engaged. The room exploded. People clapped, someone screamed. Haley held up her hand and showed off a ring I hadn't even noticed. And I just stood there, still holding my drink, still smiling. But inside, I felt like someone had kicked the air out of my chest. All eyes turned to her. The question started. When did it happen? Who proposed? Where's the fiancé? And apparently, he was on a work trip. But that didn't stop them. Everyone was buzzing about her. I backed up a little, drifted toward the corner of the room, and watched as my surprise birthday party turned into her engagement party in less than 60 seconds. My mom came over, whispered, I hope you don't mind, we thought it'd be fun to surprise both of you. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't about me. Not really. I was the excuse to get everyone in the room. The bait. They needed a reason to throw a party without making it too obvious, and my birthday was convenient. That's all. Convenient. The happy birthday banner stayed up. Sure, but it was barely in the photos. The cake? Everyone took pictures of Haley standing next to it, holding up her ring. I had one slice, alone, on a paper plate. It wasn't even chocolate. After the announcement, it was like the room shifted orbit. Everything started revolving around her. People crowded around Haley, asking about the proposal, the ring, the date, the dress. Someone pulled out a notebook and started suggesting venues. My aunt asked if she could host a bridal shower at her lake house. My uncle said he'd start putting together a playlist. And me? I was just standing there, still holding the same drink. I walked out to the back deck, where the noise was a little quieter, and sat down on the edge of a planter box, just to breathe. A couple of my coworkers followed me out, probably sensing the weird energy. One of them, Rachel, sat next to me and said, Hey, congrats on your engagement. Then she caught herself. Wait, this was your party, wasn't it? I gave a half laugh. Yeah, it started that way. She looked embarrassed. I'm sorry. That was kind of awkward. I shrugged. It's okay. It's not your fault. But that was the moment it became real. If someone who barely knew me could feel that shift, could sense that I'd been edged out of my own birthday, then it wasn't just in my head. I wasn't being sensitive. I wasn't overreacting. This was actually happening. I stood up, went inside, and tried to act normal. Tried to smile. Tried to be gracious. My parents looked thrilled. My mom kept walking around the room with a glass of wine, saying, "We're just so happy. Everything came together so perfectly." And my dad? He had that smug, satisfied look. Like he'd pulled off the event of the year. They weren't malicious. I don't think they meant to hurt me, but that's what made it worse. Because it wasn't even deliberate. It was just natural to them. Like they'd been doing it so long, they didn't even see the problem. I don't know what I expected. A speech about me? A toast to the birthday boy? A cake that had my name on it instead of a slogan fit for a Hallmark commercial? Maybe none of that. Maybe I just wanted someone to notice I was being replaced in real time. I went to grab a bottle of water from the kitchen and saw the gift table. I hadn't even seen it before. All the bags were pastel colors, glittery, tied with gold bows. Nothing that screamed birthday. It was wedding wrapping paper, all of it. I found a small card envelope with my name scribbled in the corner. Inside was a generic birthday card signed, "Love Mom and Dad," with a $25 Starbucks gift card tucked in. I'm not kidding. That was it. No note, no inside joke, just the bare minimum. Meanwhile, Haley had a custom-made scrapbook someone had started for her wedding journey. I stared at that card for a long time. Not because I expected something big, but because it confirmed what I was too tired to admit. They hadn't planned a party for me. They'd planned a reveal party for her. I was the side dish. The backdrop, the conveniently timed birthday boy. I put the card back in the envelope and walked outside again, this time toward the edge of the yard where it was darker and nobody could really see me. Emily texted me, asking how the party was going. I didn't reply. What was I supposed to say? They threw a party for me and then used it to celebrate my sister instead. Happy birthday to me? I stayed out there for maybe 10 minutes, just breathing, just thinking. And then Haley came over. She was glowing. She always glows. She sat down next to me and said, "I hope you're not mad." I looked at her. Why would I be mad? She said, I mean, I know it's your birthday, but Mom said it'd be cute if we combined the party. Kind of like new beginnings for both of us. I stared at her, trying to keep my voice calm. Except I didn't know we were combining it. She tilted her head. You mean they didn't tell you? I shook my head. Number they told me it was a birthday dinner. She winced. Yikes. Then she smiled, like she was trying to lighten the mood. Well, surprise? I didn't say anything, just nodded. Because what else could I say? She stood up and went back to the crowd, and I stayed where I was, watching from the outside. Like always. And that's when it hit me, no just about the party, but about everything. Every time something big happened in my life, it got overshadowed. Every time I stepped forward, they handed her the mic. And maybe they didn't mean to. Maybe they didn't notice. But that didn't make it hurt any less. I don't know what exactly pushed me over the edge. Maybe it was the sight of my birthday card sitting alone on a table full of wedding gifts. Maybe it was Haley calling it cute that our milestones got combined like it was some Pinterest board idea. Or maybe it was just years of swallowing it all. Swallowing the silence. The moments I was expected to be understanding, quiet, flexible, reliable. That night, after most of the guests had left, I stayed behind to help clean up. Part of me still didn't want to make a scene. I stacked empty plates, tossed napkins, carried folding chairs back to the garage. That's the kind of son I'd trained myself to be. Helpful. Low maintenance. Quiet. But I was boiling inside. My mom came over with a half-empty tray of pasta and smiled. Wasn't it a great night? I looked at her. Not mad, not bitter. Just done. I said, was it really for me? She blinked. What do you mean? I nodded toward the backyard. The party, the announcement, the cake, the gifts, any of it. Was it for me? She paused. Well, it was for both of you. We thought it'd be sweet to bring everyone together. I set the tray down. Did you ever think I might not want to share it? She frowned, confused. But it's your sister's engagement, that's huge. I nodded. And finishing college after 5 years of working nights, saving up and doing it all on my own, that's not? Her face shifted, like she wanted to argue but didn't know how. We didn't mean to upset you. I let out a breath. You didn't even tell me. I walked into a party thinking for once, maybe, just maybe, this was about me, and within 10 minutes it became hers, like everything else has always been. My dad walked in from the garage right then and caught the tail end of what I said. He looked between us. What's going on? My mom said, he's upset about the party. My dad raised an eyebrow. Seriously? That word seriously hit me like a slap. I said, yeah, seriously. He sighed. It was one night. Why make a big deal out of it? I stepped back, trying to stay calm. Because it wasn't just one night, it's every holiday, every family dinner, every phone call that starts with, how's your sister doing? And ends without anyone asking about me. It's 29 years of being polite about being second. My mom looked shocked. My dad looked annoyed. He said, we've always supported you. I nodded slowly. Sure. But have you ever celebrated me? Silence. That kind of silence that only comes when people finally hear something they weren't ready for. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just told the truth. And honestly, I don't even know if I expected them to understand. I just needed to finally say it out loud. I grabbed my jacket, told them I'd talk to them later, and walked out. I didn't slam the door. I didn't storm off. I just left. Emily was waiting in the car. She saw my face and didn't ask anything. She just started driving. I looked out the window for a long time, then finally said, I think I'm done trying to earn it. She asked. Earn what? I said, being visible, being enough. And for the first time in a long time, I felt something close to peace. The next few days were quiet. No texts, no calls, just space. And honestly, I needed it. I wasn't angry anymore, just tired. Tired of chasing approval. Tired of showing up with a full heart and walking away half acknowledged. I went back to my life work. Bills, everyday routines. And for once, I didn't feel like the guilt was weighing me down. I didn't feel like I owed anyone an explanation for stepping back. Emily kept checking in, gently, like she was giving me space but also letting me know she was there. One night, while we were eating takeout on the couch, she looked over and said, you know, you didn't do anything wrong. I nodded, mouth full of noodles. But that hit deeper than she probably realized. Because that's what I'd been wondering my whole life. Was I the problem? Was I too sensitive? Too quiet? Too low maintenance for my own good? But no. I just got used to asking for less and being praised for it. I got good at disappearing so other people could shine. A week after the party, my mom sent a text. Can we talk sometime? No emojis. No, just checking in. Just that. I sat on it for a day, then replied, sure, call when you're ready. She called that evening. I picked up, not knowing what I was walking into, but she sounded different. Softer. Tired, maybe. She said, I didn't know it had been like that for you. I didn't say anything. Just let her talk. She went on, I thought you were fine. You always seemed fine. You never asked for anything. You always handled things. I finally spoke. That's kind of the point, she said. I guess we leaned on that too much. And I'm sorry. The party wasn't fair to you. You deserved your own day. That part caught me off guard. Not because it was overly emotional or dramatic, but because it was real, simple, acknowledgement. I didn't need a full apology tour. I just needed someone to say it out loud. We talked for maybe 20 minutes. Nothing deep, but something shifted. She asked about work, and this time, listened. She asked about Emily, not just where we were living, but how we were doing. It felt like a start. A few days later, I got a card in the mail. Not a gift card, not a generic greeting card, just a handwritten note from my dad. It said, I didn't realize how much we'd been missing. I'm proud of you. I should have said it sooner. That was it. No big gestures, no backpedaling. Just a few words that carried more weight than any party ever could. I don't know if things will fully change. I don't expect them to, but I know where I stand now. And that makes a difference. I'm not fighting for space anymore. I'm choosing where I want to stand, whose table I want to sit at, whose celebrations I show up for, and who truly shows up for mine. And if no one does, that's okay. Because I'll still show up for myself. Always. You can only be someone else's backdrop for so long before you realize your story deserves its own stage.